Hi, welcome to this pack. Alright, so in here you'll notice in the video you are able to transform your character to like a petrified state, a burned state, and so on and so forth depending on your look of the game, and even this see-through, which I call it a ghost effect, but it makes it to where like you can make it to where like the player or the enemies don't spot the player that way. So how this pack works is we're going to go ahead and in each material, you'll notice here I have it set up in the folders. There's a one with no timers and there's one with timers. The ones with timers is what you saw in the video. So for this, we're going to go ahead and there you have the different ones. There's a 3D box direction, a gradient direction. The one I used on the male character was a 3D box direction to show you how you can add that to the character or your humans. Simple noise, the sphere, and then the Voronoi. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you how these work. So in here, these are how I have these set up. You can adjust them however you want. The texture amount is, let me go ahead and just boost this up real quick so you can see. Oh, or let's go ahead and take this off. Alright, so here, you'll notice how it's red. If you lower that, it makes it to where, oh yeah, that's on the character. It's this edge off. This texture amount just makes it to where you can actually transition this rock from being black or more black or to the more as you see here. But this edge amount is what lowers that down. You can higher it, lower it depending on yours, and then that makes it to where it adds like a cool effect. The bounds here for the 3D box is what makes it to where you will dissolve or undissolve to your current state or burnt state, depending on how you see fit there. Now there's this box direction, which is this little doohickey here. It's a blueprint here, and it basically grabs the current position of this box state and it makes it to where, as you see here, you can change the direction of where it will dissolve. So if I wanted to, I can bring it closer and make it to where it goes up and down or however you want it, but that's a neat little thing for the blueprint here and how it's set up inside of the material. So in the material, I'll just show you real quick. It's this use custom state, but then it grabs this position here, which is the material property that you're actually going to get also within this pack, and that's what makes it to where it will dissolve everywhere. Perfect. So the next thing is the sphere one. So the sphere one is basically almost the same thing on how it's used. We're going to go ahead and boost up, or no, the boost amount is for how much emission value you want. But on the sphere, you want to raise the radius. The radius is what's going to make it to where it will transition, as you see here. And then here, oh, it's not working. It's probably because there's another one in here. There is. So let's go ahead and delete that one. There we go. So you'll notice here that it will dissolve the character in a sphere type. So adds some cool looking effects as you're doing that for your project. For some reason the pack only likes it to where it's one of these at a time for them. It's kind of weird. Alright, now we have the gradient. So the gradient from here on out, oh, and also with these, I'll show you in a second, but dissolve amount is what will transition your gradient, your simple noise, and the Voronoi state. But also here, so let's say you have your character, which I'll show you those in a second, but for the gradient, in this pack, I actually give it to where you can actually change where the direction is. If you want to make your own, that's perfectly fine, or you can use the ones in the pack. And then you can also change the dissolve texture. You can use whatever you want, or I have many different ones that I include here, and you could just change up how that works. So like, let's say for instance I want to use this lightning texture. Let's go ahead and dissolve it, and you'll notice how it changes there. And then this lerp, if I want it to be more of a lightning, I change it to 1. And then if I want it to be more of noise, I change it to 0, and you'll notice how it's just simple noise going up and down. Or yeah, it's just the gradient going up and down. Sorry. And then if I change it to 0.5, then we have more of a mixture, as you see here. Perfect. And then now for the character. Okay, so the character, like I said, is using the 3D box to dissolve that one. And in here, you'll notice has the same thing, use custom. The color is white to make it to where this looks more like a hot rock or burnt rock. Boost amount adds more emission, takes it away if you lower it down. And then we have the bounds again. It makes it to where it goes up and down. And then in here we have edge off, where how much, so let's go ahead, yep, the edge off, how much of that I want to be seen. And then the normal strength and the offset is used on the rock here. So if I put this all the way up, let's say I want to make this 5. My controls, because I'm used to Unity in a way more. But you'll notice how it makes it to where it looks stronger and so on and so forth. But we're going to set that back to 1. Perfect. And then this texture amount, because it's lerping, show you how that's set up in here. So in here for the emission, there's the regular burnt texture, and then there's one where I took it and I make it to where it's black. So it allows for just for the hottest points in the texture to be able to bloom in a way. And then of course this character was grabbed from the Unity asset store, so it came with a metallic texture and an AO texture, but once you transition it, you don't see them afterwards. And then yeah, so that's pretty much it on how to use this pack. Of course you can mix and customize for the ghost texture. Don't adjust any of the colors, because once you do, then it starts acting weird. I don't know why, but it does. It will actually make it to where the glowy outline doesn't happen. It's kind of weird. But yeah, and if you don't want to use these, you could just of course turn them on and off. This color opacity on here makes it to where the mesh here can be seen. So for example, if I take this and I lower it, you'll notice how it goes away. But if I raise it back, you'll notice how that's shown. And then if I go to the bounds, it will make it to where it's a nice, cool looking effect here. Alright. Thank you for watching, and you have a great rest of your day.